Hey traders, I just want to shoot a live video here where I'm trading Nasdaq futures. Um, it's about 2 minutes before the open. I'm trying to get multiple funded accounts. So if you subscribe to this channel, you'll see me try to get multiple funded accounts trading the Nasdaq futures, trying to get $50,000 valuation accounts with a $53,000 profit goal. Now I have two accounts. One is $50,000 and that's a valuation account that I just started today. And the other one is a cash account. It's $50,456. And so that's a real cash account where I can withdraw money. And trading the prop firm allows me to keep 90% of the profits. It actually lets you keep the first $10,000. And I'll have a link to that prop firm in the comments in the description. The link will also tell you how to get 50% off if you want for the prop firm. But yeah, so I'll be trading two different strategies. Well, it's the same strategy, but it's two different time frames. So for this 15-second charts, for the NQ, I'll be trading full contracts scalping on the 15-second. And then I'll be using the same strategy, but on the 15-minute or 5-minute for the cash account, and I'll be trading micros in that one. I'll be a lot more stringent and be scaling in, not really scalping, but looking for bigger plays. And even with the micros, the way the the market's been so volatile, it'll work out usually. So here I'll be trading the NQ. I'm going to place a limit order here to buy, and I'm just trying to scalp. So you're not seeing the custom indicators that I've built. They're off to the side on one of my monitors. I just want to show my order entries here and my P&L with NinjaTrader. And so if you want to get some additional training on how the strategy works, I get in-depth training. There'll be a link in the description of this video where you could sign up. And it's just, there's an email. You put in your email and it gives you instant access to the training, and also how you can get the indicator as well. So here's a nice quick scalp. Boy, that really beasted up. $350 profit, and we're just 4 minutes into the open. So again, trying to get $53,000 profit goal, and then you have to trade a minimum of 10 days. What I like to do is, on my actual funded account that I got funded on Monday, it's my second day trading it, I got funded within 3 days, and I just traded micros for $1-2 gains for the rest of the valuation period, just to pass the valuation. So it's kind of how I like to do things, as quick as possible. So I'm going to look for a short setup, and I might fast forward certain parts until I find what I'm looking for. Okay, here I see a setup. I'm seeing some divergence between price and volume. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And then on the charts, I have my 9 EMA in teal and my 20 SMA in gold. And those are kind of my profit targets, are generally those two, or in between them in some cases. So I kind of gauge on those two levels: fast moving average and a slower moving average, one exponential, one just a regular moving average. So here I get stopped out. This overall market structure in the higher time frames looks like it's downtrending. We have the Ukraine Russian invasion. The markets are recoiling a little bit. But what's kind of been hard is that I use the ES as a gauge for the NQ, and they're kind of moving with each other, but not like they used to. There's a little bit of weirdness going on between them, so it's been a little bit harder to read. But it seems like we're in kind of a ranging zone, at least in the daily, where markets are kind of going up and down rather than trending. But we're definitely kind of on a downtrend. So here looks like a good setup. Let me try getting in here maybe. Yeah, that would have been a nice one. See a quick move down. I'm going to try to stick to keeping limit orders. I'll get some really good prices and being a little less aggressive on getting filled, because these movements are really quick. They kind of whipsaw around. Fast forward too much there. There we go. So I should get filled right about here. So filled there for one contract. Pretty strong move up. I don't like the way it's breaking and then hesitating, but I will add to the position if it does break the low of the previous candle. So I'm kind of looking for stop hunting by the market makers, and that's the basis of a lot of my strategy, is identifying those levels by looking at divergence between price and volume. And you're not seeing any of those. So let me take out a little bit here, shore up my stop. Maybe let this one play out. It could take it up again. And that's kind of the whole theory behind what I'm trying to do here, is gotta be patient a little bit for the scalp here. Having some hesitation. And I'll see the market makers take it up and down and kind of double, triple top these setups with really weak volume. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is just super weak volume with spikes in price. Knowing I can get stopped out just above those highs, but willing to take that risk because the indicators are just telling me this is where it's at. And so I'm willing to take profits and then re-enter a trade, especially on this smaller time frame. Seeing this kind of hesitation up and down, breaking highs and lows. It looks like it's trending up. However, the volume's just not there to support it. I don't even know why it's up this high. And I might, being scalping, I'll change my mind pretty frequently, and I'll be quick to say I'm wrong and go the other direction. You got to, on the shorter time frames, you got to be able to be nimble like that. That did work out, so I'm up 645 for the day. Let's fast forward here and see if we get any more. So I go long here. I'm kind of shore up my stop to be just below the lows. After they've already taken out a low, and I kind of stopped out early there. Just again, I'm trying to be nimble. And I do think this thing is going to revisit highs for the day. So I think I'm going to look to take another long. I'm getting pretty close to my daily profit target. I was going to be about, if I make over 1,500, I definitely want to stop. And back up. And so it looks like, I go long one contract there, get filled. It looks like the same type of thing. Might have actually missed the opportunity to take profit. Should have got filled in the previous 15-second candle. The other thing is that I'm kind of FOMOing into trades by buying market and not setting. So a limit order there would have been perfect at the bottom of that range. And I would have got filled rather than stopped out. And here I would have taken profit. So a couple of mistakes in a row right there but scalping is a little bit new to me, so I'm not used to these smaller time frames. And again, so that's why in the cash account I am going to trade larger time frames, and I'm going to trade micros rather than full contracts. Here, enter one more long. Kind of not even listening to myself about, entering limit orders at the bottom of that range. Again, I would have got filled at a nice price, would have been able to keep my risk to reward a little tighter, and not risk so much capital on this trade. I do want to add to the trade if it does breach this ranging candle. I'm sorry, this range here. It's not looking good. It's looking like it's still in this mini kind of downtrend. And I get stopped out, and I've given back quite a bit of profits, but that's part of scalping. I do see this thing being super extended on the downside. Rather than buying market, I'll try buying the ask, but it just looks super extended. I don't know how low they're going to take it, but the volume does not justify this much selling pressure, even though we are in an overall downtrend. I kind of want to catch that big move, and I missed that spike just by a couple of ticks. Oh man, that would have been a nice, easy win. But it does look like they're trying to take it down a little bit further. So negative on the day. That's really my patience. I guess I need to work on that for sure on these scalps. It could have been a couple of winners with limit orders on the bottom of that range earlier. And maybe being patient for a reversal here as we enter the lows for the open. And I'm going to set my stop order. I think first let me set my target just in case it spikes. And I'm going to set my stop order, I think, below the lows. So I'm risking a lot, but I highly doubt that the lows will be broken the way I'm seeing the indicators play out on my custom indicators off to the side. And so when I have really high conviction for trades like this one, I will add more than one contract, especially on a valuation account where if I blow up the account, it's got to pay the reset fee, and that sucks, yes, but part of the game. I think a big thing people don't realize is that you can trade differently on how you trade evaluation accounts versus how you trade your real accounts. At least that's worked for me. Maybe some other people like to take it slower, but I like to be able to get through these evaluations as quick as possible and then be very conservative on my evaluation accounts. And here, this selling candle makes no sense with how much volume is being put in. And so I'm adding here another contract, and you see it quickly being bought up. So these are the algos. They're just trying to stop people out. And my indicators really help identify what the algos and the market makers are trying to do. And before it beasts up like that, I'll take one contract off. It went way through my targets, which are the EMA and the SMA. And now I'm looking for it to break that high, just kind of tightening my stop and my profit targets. And that's exactly what will happen with stop hunting. They hunt out everybody's stops, and they take them out, and then it reverses at double bottom. So that was great. I'm up 1770. I think I'm done, but I might still, I'm going to look at my cash account and switch to the 5 minute and see if I could see a setup. If not, I might come and try my luck with another trade on my valuation account. But if I do lose a trade on my valuation account, I'll stop trading. I'm up so much, I'm only risking a couple $100 on each trade. So the next loss on the evaluation account, I will go ahead and stop trading that one and wait until I find a good setup on the higher time frames for my cash account. So let's see. Okay, here I take a see, I'm gonna take a position here, and I do see it the exact same thing where they're putting this flag pattern. I'm using a limit order, get filled. It looks like they're gonna take it down because we had a lot of buying going on in this downward trend. But again, they're ranging it where last time it was ranging. It was a really weak range and it broke. This is the exact same thing is happening again. So I need to identify that ranging area that matches the previous one. And now they're probably going to take it up to the highs and reverse it again if my indicators kind of indicate that kind of manipulation through volume, through the identification of some volume levels. So I'm just going to look for another trade on my cash account and switch over to the micros and the time frame. So here I'm seeing some divergence between price and volume and my indicators on the 5-minute. And this again is that the micros in my cash account. Just being really conservative with this. Don't want to lose these accounts. So if I see some more conviction, I'm also looking at higher time frames like the 15-minute too on my other screens, and looking for higher conviction. So okay, here I fill in with 1 micro, and I'm going shorts. Overall, I do see a downtrend, and I'm in 2 contracts right now. My stop is going to be kind of in that upper range up there in 237s. I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm just trying to figure out where my entries should be. Let me adjust my stop. This one's going to be quite a bit of risk. That stop at 284, that kind of range up there in the 80s, the 280s, it's really high level of resistance. So I think here is I just get in way too early, right? About 2 contracts too early. So I still think it's going to overall break down. I just don't know how much drawdown I'm going to have to incur. I'm willing to risk yesterday's profits because overall my conviction is very high. I get filled for a third that this will downtrend. I just, don't want to risk much more. I will go a little bit more, but not much more than my previous day's profits. And my mistake here is that I got on way too early. I should be in 1 contract right here with a couple more at the top of this range. And especially now I'm going to have to probably incur about $500-600 in drawdown if it goes up to my stop. But I don't think it should go higher than that. I might adjust my stop and my entries, enter more as time goes, but kind of just figuring out my plan and adjusting it slightly according to what I'm seeing on the charts. So yeah, I'm incurring quite a bit of drawdown. The 80s again, 280s look like a really solid level for this setup. So I get filled a 4th contract there, a pretty horrible average, but it's looking to be about 1-to-1 on my risk to reward. I can tell you one thing, if it does start working out in my favor, I'm going to heavily consider getting out early because this is just a bad trade. I got in too early. I think I have the right idea, but whether it works out for me or not, I made the mistake of getting in too early. And sometimes you could you can have a green trade, but it's still a bad trade because you got a little lucky, or you had the right idea, but you had bad execution. And it's all about execution and preserving. It's like preserving capital and risk management. So, we're definitely on a downtrend here, and there seems to be a spike. Market makers and algos are definitely trying to take people out before it drops down. I just don't know how high they're going to take it. And see, normally people would have put their stop above that high, and a lot of times this should be where I enter, right around here. So I'm way off on my entry. Got way too aggressive. I just didn't think with the amount of volume that's being displayed on my indicators off to the side that they could take it this high. So it just goes to show you how much market manipulation is really going on. Let me fast forward here a little bit. So close to my exit, to my stop there a couple of times. So another hindsight kind of observation is that why not have a few extra entries towards your stop? How much are you losing on those contracts? If I had 2 more entries, I increase my loss if it does stop me out. But if it works out in my favor, the amount of capital I actually lose on those 2 contracts is very little. As you know, with futures, it's first in, first out, and that's how they're calculated too with the funding accounts. So here we get it work in our favor. And again, my average is just horrible. So I actually, I'm looking to size down a little bit, even though I should be diligent and I should stick to my plan and where I think this will eventually go, especially on higher time frames. But I shouldn't reward myself too much because it was bad performance on the entry. And I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, like I'm trying to make the most amount of money, obviously, but also I want my performance to be spot on. And I don't want to get lucky. I want all my, all my winnings to be based on my performance and not my luck. And so generally I would not do this. I'd wait for, especially on this type of setup, for it to at least get down towards the lows. But I want to take some risk off because I do see this thing possibly bouncing back up to that level. And my average is going to be pretty awesome, after I stop out there. So I stop out for a $17 loss, but my average gets much better. And I could, take off another one if it does decide to pop up. Kind of using the 9 EMA as my guide. I don't want it to pop above that. And I'm willing to kind of stop out for break even on the rest. Because again, this was just an overall bad trade. Even though it looks like it's going to work out. So I get stopped out there for another point. I have 2 on, but my average is pretty awesome now. And now I'm just, I'll lock in 40 points. That's fine for some profits. And again, typically I would have had like a break even, or I should have had a better average at that top of the range and had a stop that was break even or a little bit better than what I have to set it to now, just to get try to squeeze as much profit out of this as possible. So I'm trying to stick within the 9 EMA as my stop. That's what I really like moving averages for, is for your targets and for your stops. I think they're really great for that. Also, identifying trend and everything. But that's my main use for them. So here I'm at 95 points. Everything's looking great. with four contracts is where it should be at this entry at 246 with a stop above 280. That's exactly the type of setup I like. I also attached my stop order to the 9 EMA, which it actually, every single ticket, it will adjust. That's why it's flashing there, which is really great. You kind of set it and forget it. I don't like walking away from the computer when I'm in an open position, but you could, and it just kind of follow the EMA, which is really great. And I eventually get stopped out here after some time. And so, yeah, that was my trades for today. And again, if you want additional training for how I work with this strategy, I got over $250,000 in funding within 10 days. And I go over in my training exactly how to do that, and also how I use my custom indicators, how you can get your hands on the custom indicator and the training. The link is in the description. Also, there's a link to get 50% off evaluation account with an offer code that I have down there. You click on the link, enter the offer code, get 50% off lifetime valuation accounts. And again, if you want to watch this journey as I get multiple funded futures accounts, I suggest you click on subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I will see you in the next trade video. Thank you. Have a great day.